Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for responding to the bell week after week. Welcome to the weekly gathering of our Bloomington Rotary Club. I'm your president, Sally Gaskill. Thank you so much for being here, both at the IMU Frangipani Room and on Zoom. So it's a big week for our club as we honor our own Charlotte Zitlow this Friday night at the 7th annual Rotary Toast. I look forward to seeing most of you there, and over 300 people will be joining us. Please wear your pins. It's Rotary's night to shine. And I know Charlotte is on her way here because Ruth Boschkoff says she was just at their book club and Charlotte was holding forth. So we'll see her. Let's please observe a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Please be seated. And I'd like to ask Martha Wales to come forth and give today's reflection. Thanks very much to Martha and to all of you who have signed up to give the reflection. There are still a few more slots available.
Tis the season. Holiday gift catalogs are piling up. Wonderful items that I might want if I wanted more things, or things I might think about gifting. I'm not a shopper, either online or in person. So the enjoyment I have in that activity comes from paging through catalogs or tossing them in the recycling. I'm not only not a good shopper, I'm not a good gift giver. I'm often not sure what would be a good present. I don't want to give something they don't want, so it ends up, oh, Grandma, that's wonderful, a check. What is interesting is what they might choose to spend it on. My 11-year-old grandson, 2 years ago, bought an electric toothbrush. Who would have thunk? The catalogs have also provided me with a new category of presents, the gift not given. These are totally unlikely items that I can't imagine buying or giving away. The 40-foot long Santa that would go on top of your roof, probably including reindeer. The indoor gun pellet, which is not the perfect present for my family. There's a $2,700 Tom Brady autographed football helmet. I passed on that one. For these gifts, I cut out the catalog picture and the blurb, and I pasted onto a piece of paper, and I put a ribbon around the piece of paper and say, gift not given. Whether or not it gives pleasure to the recipient, it gives me a lot of pleasure to do this. Also piling up in my mailbox and on my desk are solicitations for charitable causes. In my email inbox, there are more solicitations and reminders of charities and how to donate. I keep a file for the paper requests and get to them about this time of year. Then there's politics. Surprise, they solicit too. Thinking about politics also makes me think about slogans and ads. Catchy slogans and acronyms make a difference, however much we think we're immune. Some people and parties are much more effective than others. Should we all take a class in how to slant your rhetoric and questions? Should I admire that skill or be angry? Even I, applauding, just tell me what it is and what it does type, I recognize the power of a good name and slogan, especially if it's combined with a good cause. For example, I recently purchased toilet paper from Who Gives a Crap? An irreverent company selling recycled and bamboo-based toilet paper, founded by some young Australians who give half their proceeds to building toilets in places without them around the world. That box of 48 rolls that I purchased were delivered in a large box with Pig Latin on one side. I'm not going to translate it for you. And this poem on the other. Roses are red. This box is gigantic, but it has a nice poem. Isn't that romantic? But the best slogan ever is our own Rotary Club's joyful addition to the 4-way test. Is it fun? It not only sets our club apart, it sends us all off with a smile. I have to admit, there's no moral or lesson in this particular reflection, except to embrace the season, the solicitation, and the causes, and each other.
Thank you so much, Martha. We have a number of guests here today. At my table, they were all IU women's basketball fans. I'd like to introduce the guests and ask you to stand as I read your name. We have Lisa Schubert Noling, guest of Owen Johnson. Lisa's a pastor. We also have Marilyn Bierman, guest of Owen Johnson. Marilyn works at the media school. Heather Haddad is a guest of Erin Brewington, and she's an artist and philanthropic entrepreneur. Welcome. Sherry Dupree, guest of Leslie Green. And finally, Michael Bird is a guest of Michael Shermis. Welcome to all of you. Joy Harder, do we have any guests on Zoom?
Sally, we are entirely
Joy, are you
Rotarian.
on mute?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Sally? Can the room hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Hello? No?
We welcome all of our guests on Zoom. We are having a minor technical difficulty. It hasn't happened
Okay.
for weeks, folks. I'm very proud of our team here. We'll figure it out. Joy, thank you.
No guess.
For all
no-
of our guests, both here in the house and on Zoom, please come back and join us in the future. We have really interesting programs every week, and we're here doing good work in the community and throughout the world. I do want to thank our technical team, Dave Meyer, assisted by Michael Shermis 2 weeks in a row, our Zoom manager, Joy Harder, and our remote camera and mic operators, Martha Foster and Aaron Davis. Leslie Green, thank you for being the greeter. The roundabout reporter for this week is Jim Bright, and the editor-in-chief of the Bloomington Rotary Roundabout is always Judy Schroeder. We have, yes, indeed. We have one significant membership anniversary this week, and it's Phil Eskew. Phil, you've been a member of our club for 4 years. Elsewhere, for 36 years, 4 combined 40 years as a Rotarian, and I do believe you have perfect attendance. Congratulations. Got a few announcements. First, remember that we recognized World Polio Day on Sunday, October 24th. I am so proud of the generosity of the members of this club. We raised $600 between us. 35 people gave an average of $15. That will turn into $1,800 with the match provided by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to Rotary International. Thank you all so much. I will continue to provide you with updates on the polio scene throughout the year. In the meantime, no news is good news. I wanted to check in and see if you've had lunch yet with your lunch buddy. Raise your hand if you've had lunch with your lunch buddy. Oh, I love that. Yay. And on Zoom as well. Got that? Yay. Wonderful. I haven't yet had mine. Jim Sims, I'm trying to track you down. Kidding. I encourage the rest of you to do so before the end of the year, because then we'll have another quarterly group of lunch buddies beginning in January. So as Martha Wales has so aptly pointed out with good humor, it is November and the holiday season is fast upon us. I've got two indicators of that. First, Steve Moberly, who could not be here today, asked me to announce the annual Salvation Army bell ringing by our club. Last year, we raised $1,854.08. So please volunteer by completing the sign up genius that Natalie sent out yesterday.
I can't get it.
And second indicator of the holiday season, we're going to have a holiday party. Yay! So please mark your calendars for Thursday, December the 9th. We're going to return to an early evening event at Switchyard Park in the Pavilion, the same place we had our social event last July. And if you'd like to join the holiday party planning committee, please let me know. Now, let's have some happy dollars. Our happy dollars is a feature of Bloomington Rotary where every week members talk about why they're happy and donate cash for Teachers Warehouse, one of our local nonprofit organizations that this club started thanks to Judy Witt many, many years ago. Who's happy today? Aaron and Martha are ready for you. Anyone in the house? It's November. Oh, yay. Finally, Steve Wales is happy.
I'm happy because all four of my grandchildren are going to be here at Christmas. First time in 2 years they've all been together.
Awesome. Is there any happiness on Zoom? If so, unmute yourself and let us know. Raj Adawi.
Well, I'm sitting where I am, looking outside to a blue sky.
Oh,
Beautiful
we're having
color.
a Zoom issue today. Raj, I'm so sorry. Maybe you can indicate in the chat why you're happy and we can read it.
Okay.
In the meantime, Art.
Hello, here's five happy dollars. My son came down to see me, stay with us this weekend. It was nice to see the little.
Well, I'm happy and I'll give $5 in memory of what happened 6 years ago today in the wee hours of the morning when the Kansas City Royals won the World Series. It's still a sweet memory. Anybody else? No happiness. Ooh, okay, well, going once, going twice. Can we read any happy chats from Zoom? Oh, good, one more. Steve has another one.
I wanted to tell everybody I'm also happy because my wife and I got season tickets to the women's basketball team. As seniors, the season tickets are only $32. So even if you go to a couple of games, wouldn't that be great to support the team? They're doing so good.
Double happiness from Steve Wales. Is
And
that Aaron?
I've got a happy dollar for our 40th anniversary of, one of our stalwart members, Phil Eskew.
Yay. And I've got a couple of happinesses from Zoom. Raj Hadawi, who comes to us from North Carolina, says, "It is beautiful here, beautiful trees color, blue sky, wonderful, Raj. It's pretty nice here too." And from Sandy Keller, Sandy is so happy that Charlotte joined My Sister's Closet for their check presentation event last week. She was a huge inspiration. Of course she was. Thank you, Sandy, and thank you, Raj, for your generosity, to Aaron, to Steve, to Art, and to all. And with that, I'd like to invite Owen Johnson to the podium to introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you, President Sally. I'm going to say something about our speaker, not about his job, because that's what he's going to talk about. He was born and raised in Cairo, Illinois, part of Little Egypt. If you've ever been to Southern Indiana, they have the Egyptian theme thoroughly. Southern Illinois, the newspaper is called the Daily Egyptian. He has a bachelor's degree from nearby Southeast Missouri. He first started coaching at Rend Lake Junior College, 3 years as assistant with the men's team. And then he crossed over to become head coach of the women's team. And then he started trips around the Midwest. He coached at Western Michigan and Akron in the Mid-American Conference. One of his opponents was former IU women's coach Kurt Miller. He had 2 stays at SLU, St. Louis University. He came to IU in 2016. The last 2 years, he has been associate head coach. Some of the players he's coached: Tyra Buss, Grace Berger. I could talk about more, but I think he could do a better job of talking about them. Please give a warm Rotary welcome to Associate Head Coach of the IU Women's Basketball Team, Glenn Box.
I am so delighted to be here. You have no idea. For quite some time, you know, when we speak to recruits, first of all, am I too loud? Are we good? Okay, for quite some time now, we've been talking to recruits. As we talk to recruits, we tell them basically we're that program that's on the rise. We're ascending. That's who we are. We're gonna be something special. Now it's that time. We are special. And you know, this gentleman over here mentioned season tickets. Our kids appreciate the community support more than anyone you could possibly know, you know, in regards to programs. One of our big recruiting spills is basically you guys. Like we recruit, or when we speak to recruits, we sell you. We sell our attendance. We sell the passion, the energy in the building. And to kids who come into our not our program, but kids who come into our building as, you know, competitors, you know, it's eye-opening to them because it's not like that at other places. You know, what we have right now with our fan base, it is truly special. We feel like we have a true home court advantage. We feel like, you know, everything that, you know, Coach Morin has been able to build is special. And I keep using that word because it's true. It is special. And I know many of you all, you know, you attend our games and we are truly, truly, again, appreciative of that. But if you can continue to bring more people into our building and make it that much more special, you know, we truly do appreciate that. We hear all the time, you know, when I'm talking to people all the time, and I just was at this table about, you know, the experience that people have when they come into our building, and get the opportunity to meet our kids and find out how special they really are and how good of people and high character they are. I can tell you this, that feeling is reciprocated. You know, our kids feel even more special. They feel even more, you know, appreciation than what you might feel when you meet them. Because for them, with the hard work that they put in to everything that they do, and believe me when I tell you, they put in a lot of hard work, more than anyone else. I can tell you this, I can attest to this, it means more to them because, you know, to be able to be appreciated, there's no better way to be appreciated than by you all coming to our games. And I speak to our entire staff. I speak for our staff. I speak for everyone, you know, within our program. And we too truly appreciate you. With that all being said, I think before I can really lead into this season, I kind of need to recap what happened last year. You know, I'm sure many of you were following, but last year we had a special again, there's the word, tremendous type of year for, you know, for us. You know, obviously with COVID, it was a difficult year, very stressful. But we were able to maximize our experience, you know, through COVID. You know, we were able to do things within this program that it's never been done before. and we plan and we intend to springboard, the success of last year into this year. But in regards to last year, we were picked first in the Big Ten preseason. Unfortunately, we did not win the Big Ten. We finished second in the Big Ten. We finished one game behind Maryland. We were 16-2 in conference, which was the most wins ever in the history of the program in conference. But before that non-conference, I'm kind of jumping around, sorry. Before that non-conference, we lost 2 games. We lost to Kentucky. We lost to Ryan Howard, who will be here next week. She's projected to be the number 1 player in the country, or number 1 pick in the WNBA draft this year. And we'll get another crack at them. We lost to them at their place. And then after leading the entire game, and then we lost to Tennessee, both of which were learning experiences for us as a staff. We had to really revisit some things and our approach to some things. And we felt like we learned a lot from those games. And we were able to take those rough experiences into conference play where we played pretty well. We did pretty good until we ran into Ohio State, the Ohio State team that kind of has had our number in history's past. And they were able to do some things and close the game against us here. And again, as a staff, we were able to revisit some things. Our kids really, as a collective unit, came together, and we came up with some solutions on how we were going to proceed with this season. And we were able to, finish off the season strong with Nikki Cardano-Hillary inserted into our lineup, and we were able to really make the most of that season, and conference season. And we went into the Big Ten tournament, we're fully, we were rolling, and then we ran into a really good player from Michigan State, who's, again, she's probably another WNBA prospect, and she had a tremendous game against us. And again, as a staff, it taught us some lessons, and it taught our team some lessons. We're never fully arrived. Coach talks about this all the time. We've never arrived. And I think we were kind of feeling ourselves a little bit going into the Big Ten tournament, and we got knocked off. And we were able to go back and revisit some things that week, and really take to heart some of the things that we truly value, and get better during that off week. And that led us into the COVID tournament. And we obviously got hot. Well, we really weren't hot. We just kind of grinded our way there. We didn't shoot the ball well the whole time. But I think it's a testament to how tough our kids were. We didn't shoot the ball well, but we still made it through the Elite Eight. Made it so far. If we had a decent game shooting the basketball, I think we easily probably would have knocked off Arizona. But, to their credit, they did some good things against us, and, they were able to win. But with all that being said, all of it was a true learning experience for us. And the fact that we're bringing everyone back from last year's team, we feel like our staff is that much more knowledgeable. We feel like with some key additions, with a key addition and some key newcomers, we're going to be better. And that's our expectation. We came in the season, preseason number 8. We all know in this room that doesn't mean anything. And we don't really look too much into that, but it is something to sell to recruits. But what does feel good is that the national media is actually taking notice, and it feels good. Again, like I mentioned earlier, to be appreciated, and I think, and to earn the respect of not only our peers but to the national media. And so people know who we are now. We have arrived in when it comes to being on the national stage. But we do have some unfinished business. We have a lot of unfinished business, and our goals are big, and we need everyone in this room. We expect to win a Big Ten championship. We expect to win the national championship. And that's where we are as a program. I think one thing that I kind of want to do while I'm here is talk a little bit about the season, obviously, but before I can talk about the season, I need to talk about our kids a little bit. So I want to take just a second to kind of introduce some of the kids that we have on our roster right now. Caitlin Peterson is a freshman out of Alabama, scored over 2,000 points. She's a 5'7" combo type kid. Very, very fast, very, very explosive. Still learning the game. We actually expect a lot of her this year. And so we're trying to get her up to speed. So at some point this year, she's going to really be able to contribute for us, hopefully at a high level, but she's exciting to watch. I think you guys will, everyone in this room will really appreciate what she brings to the table here. Another young lady that we have here, newcomers, Kiara Berry, scored over 3,000 points in high school. Truly a specimen athletically, still learning the game like Caitlin, trying to find out what works for her at the moment. Has a chance to be a good player for us, still learning the ropes like Caitlin, learning a lot, but they're definitely doing their time, putting in a lot of extra work, a lot of extra film, trying to get caught up to speed. Obviously, where this is a veteran group. So, veterans can sometimes make them look like rookies because, right now they have, those veterans have had, with as many 4th and 5th year, 6-year kids we have, they're old. So they've had thousands of more reps, than these young kids. But these kids are, good spirited about everything and they just want to contribute. But we have those two. Another young lady we have from Serbia, Mona Zaric. She's 19 years old. Played a little bit in Italy, world traveled, very mature. We hope and expect at some point she'll be able to contribute for us down the road. The good news is we're old, so our expectations of our young kids, isn't quite as high right now, but we do need to try to get them up to speed. But the fact that our kids are older and they're vets, we feel good about what we have with them. We're in a good position right now to kind of bring these kids along slowly. Kaylin Hose is a graduate transfer from University of Georgia. She fills a need that we felt like we needed. We didn't shoot the ball well last year as a program. We felt like we needed to address that, that need. We needed a young lady that can come in that one is great for our culture, and two, being just someone that's just highly disciplined and low maintenance and being able to do whatever we need from them. And she fits that to a T, so, she wanted an opportunity to compete at a really high level. She was kind of lost amongst the shuffle at Georgia. They had some really talented guards there and we weren't quite as deep. And, she came here, she visited, she loved what we have here and she's here. And we certainly, in a close scrimmage, she did a really good job for us the other day against Cincinnati in a close scrimmage. So again, a new young lady that we can kind of throw in the fold and maybe get some quality minutes off the bench, something that we've really struggled with in the past. But those are our newcomers. Obviously our vets, Grace Wagner, if you didn't know, we just scholarshiped her. She was a former walk-on from Evansville. She's kind of like the jack of all trades for us. We kind of throw her in a little bit here, throw in a little bit there, and we need her to do this. Grace, we need you to do that. That's who she is. And she's been just and throughout her career has been unbelievable about it. So, she got to play as a freshman and walk on, in the Big Ten tournament and playing key minutes for us. We kind of threw her in there late to address some things that we needed later that season. And she was a wing and now she's like a 4. And sometimes we throw her back as a wing and then we throw her back as a 4. So that's who she is. Really good defensive player, very, very verbal on the court. But she, like all of our kids, are unbelievable people, like just great culture people, just great kids. I can't speak any more highly about her. Chloe Moore McNeil is a COVID freshman. Again, obviously our kids had an opportunity to get the extra year, but Chloe was a young lady who was able to contribute for us last year as a freshman, played some key minutes against North Carolina State. We're expecting a lot out of Chloe this year. We need Chloe to step up for us. We challenge Chloe every day. She's 6-foot wing. We're going to need her when we're playing those big wings who are really talented. You'll probably see a good taste of her against Ryan Howard from Kentucky, being able to throw another body on her. But she can shoot the basketball certainly better than she shot last year. But she was in a difficult situation last year because we kind of nickeled and dimed her with minutes, and it's kind of hard to get a groove. But we expect her to really contribute for us this year. We need Chloe. Keandra Brown, just a beast. Like she's just a tough kid from Montreal, Canada. Hard nosed. If you don't know, she had a torn labrum last year. She played through it. She was that type of kid that did anything and everything possible to get on the court, miss playing time, would miss a game, would get treatment, would miss 2 weeks, would come back, wouldn't practice. But we did everything we could to keep her on the court, and she wanted to do everything just to play. And so, to her credit, that's who she is. She's that type of kid that's willing to do anything and everything to win. And I'm just glad she's on our team, and that's key, and so just an unbelievable person. Ariel Wisney, we've slowed rolled her. She's been a development kid from day one for us. And she's made a lot of strides. We had hoped, for some of you all who aren't quite as in tune with what's going on last year, when we got her here, she averaged like 4.5 points a game in high school. So, our expectations with her family, or, third, fourth year, maybe you come in, be a good third big for us. That's what we need from you. If you're willing to do the work, you have a chance to get to that level. Well, last year we had a couple games where she had to step up. She had to come in, she had to play. I think we were at Illinois last year and we were struggling. We couldn't play any worse. And she played, she got caught in like a 5-minute stretch out there and she's about to die. But, she made it, right? She made it. And we think about, sometimes, every season has those peaks and valleys, and it has those turns and momentum changers where a season can go Illinois is like last place team in our league. We go in Illinois, we lose that game. We're not talking probably the Elite Eight, right? So, little things like that, a young lady being able to step up and contribute in a moment like that, a lot of the times that stuff goes unnoticed. But she's still a developmental project. We're still trying to bring her along. And she's gotten so much better, and so proud of her. And other young ladies that you're probably clearly familiar with, Nicole Cardano Hillary, we inserted her, like I mentioned earlier, into the lineup. And we went like 13-0 with her. What you will see in Nikki is what she brings to the table defensively. But in 3 years, she was the all-time leading scorer at George Mason. She's a former player of the year in the Atlantic 10 Conference. And her biggest contribution to us is her spearhead in our half-court defense by being able to apply a lot of pressure, in the backcourt into the front court. So, be on the lookout for that. But Nikki is a vet. She's a winner. She's grimy. Again, she's tough. She's mean. She's hard-nosed. And I'm super happy she's on our team. And again, a large part of our turnaround last year was because of her. Like, she really, really stepped up, and we appreciate her for it. Alexa Golby has a chance to get drafted, 6'3" player out of Latvia. It's really grown up here in Bloomington. It's crazy. One of the best things about, being able to do what we do is being able to see the development of people and truly, watch her grow up, not being able to speak much English. And now, she's in my opinion, I get to coach the defense here at IU because Coach Morin, gives me the opportunity to do that. Alexa Golby is arguably one of the best defensive players in the country. She is, in my opinion, the best defensive player in the Big Ten, but she doesn't get a lot of credit. Just because we have so many good players, she kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But other people take notice who really know basketball and understand basketball. So she's going to have an opportunity to be drafted this year, barring, any setbacks. But love Lexa. She's gotten better offensively. We see it every day in practice, expecting a lot from her. Grace Berger, obviously we all know who Grace Berger is, truly has transformed her body. We were just talking a little while ago, her experience with FIBA Americas certainly has helped her. Hopefully it will catapult, into the season as far as being able to look back at her experiences and being able to really learn and be able to grow from those experiences. But the good part about her, being around those players and playing and competing against those players is she realizes that those players aren't any better than she is. And she's been able to bring that back to Bloomington and definitely feed our younger kids, our other kids with confidence, infuse some confidence in them, just knowing that they are now associated with someone like that, and so I think that was huge for our program. And then we talk about Mackenzie Holmes, obviously another one who's truly, truly competitive, completely has transformed her body. She's one of the best bigs in the country, one of the top, in my opinion, top 5 bigs, 3 to 5 bigs in the entire country. She, like Grace Berger, our first team, all Big Ten kids. They're getting national attention, national accolades, as far as being on the national stage now. They're there. And so people have taken notice of them. But Mackenzie's a special player for us. And again, we appreciate, her contributions. And then hopefully I haven't missed anyone, but we have Allie Patberg. As everyone knows, we have Allie for another year. I won't talk about too much about that because Allie really doesn't like that so much. We try to remind Allie, like, everybody would love to have that extra year, right? And so we're very thankful that she's back with us and she's healthy. That's another thing. Last year she wasn't healthy at all, and no one really knew that. She played through a lot of pain, was dealing with some real true mental barriers for her. And now she's back, she's healthy. She looks like the first team all Big Ten Allie Patberg from 2 years ago. So obviously with that being said, we felt like we could upgrade our schedule. If we're going to talk about winning national championships, we need to upgrade our schedule. And so that's what we did, so we'll play number 1 Stanford down in the Bahamas. We'll play Miami down in the Bahamas. We'll play top 5 or 6 North Carolina State, who we happened to beat in the tournament last year in the ACC Challenge. And we play Kentucky again. So we get another crack at Kentucky. Another thing another testament of our successes, we have quite a few nationally televised games this year. We're playing on ESPN, the Kentucky games, ESPN, on the forefront of my brain. We're on ESPN. We're on ESPN2. Several of our games are on Big Ten Network as usual. So, again, we appreciate your support. We appreciate the love that you've given us. But only if you knew how much our kids truly, truly, truly appreciate you. I just kind of want to speak for them with that because they do. And they tell recruits that, they tell the kids that come to campus, the best part are the games. The best part is the basketball environment, the atmosphere. And that's what you guys have cultivated. You've done that here. And, and we try to sell that. I say it again, we try to sell that. So if you come to the game, bring somebody, we for one game, we take it but we prefer you to come to all of them. So, but thank you again for allowing me to be here. I kind of want to open the floor up. I'm sorry if I forgot anything for you, but this is a great time to ask questions and hopefully I can deliver for you. Yes, sir.
Wait till we get the mic on you, Steve.
Okay.
How do you go about, Coach, finding and recruiting foreign players such as these women from Latvia and Serbia?
It's a very good question. Well, first and foremost, now the world is so much smaller of a place than it used to be, when I was younger. For instance, Coach Rhett Weersma was originally supposed to be here today. He's actually flying to Finland right now. So, the world is smaller now. So we have connections all over the globe. We get hits all the time from people who might have trained foreign players. We have hits from coaches that are overseas. We get emails, we get videos. I personally probably get 15 to 20 videos a day from recruits, and probably a minimum of 5 a day from an international prospect. So it sounds a lot harder than it is actually. But we're game for just bringing in the right kids, and we recruit them. One thing about international kids that we kind of have concluded is that they're so grateful. They're grateful for the opportunities. They're grateful to be here. They're grateful for the experience, and we appreciate that. Like, it's great to be around people who are grateful, is it not? And so we don't care where they are. Honestly, we don't care if they're in Maine. We don't care if they're in Latvia. We don't care if they're in Indiana. We just want the best fits for us, kids that can help us win at the highest level. And we just want the best fits for our culture and our program.
My question fits right in with that. last Saturday, I was at the Islamic Center of Bloomington for a gathering the community put together to support the Islamic and Muslim community after some acts of vandalism. One of the persons that spoke at the rally was one of your basketball players.
Yes, sir.
So prior to coming, I tried to look through all the names and places and locations all around the world. I couldn't identify who that was. If you could tell me who it was, but then I want to say, how do you promote international getting together and love and cooperation and in an interracial and multicultural and multi-religious scene? Because we sure need it in our world.
We need a lot more of that, do we not? Do we not? I mean, seriously. That's Keandra Brown. Key is actually from Montreal, Canada. So she was the one that I was speaking of. That's a beast. That's who she is. She actually was, ever since she stepped a little prior before here, she's that type of kid that's always like, she's a free spirit, but she's very focused. If you can ever, if I can probably describe that best. She's very intense and she has a lot of love in her heart. And so she's a great fit for our program in that she fits our culture. And what I mean by that is a lot of people talk the talk and they say all the right things and do all the right things. Coach Morin practices that stuff. And so daily messages are given to our kids all the time about selflessness, about love, about taking care of one another, all of those things. And that holds true here, you know, and so for us, it's an easy thing, you know, because that's what we practice here. We try to take care of our kids. You know, we try to have kids over for dinner. We try to take our kids out. We try to spend as much time as we can with them. We try to meet with them in the office. And in the meantime, we're constantly trying to deliver the good messages and being there for one another and being, you know, and I think one example of that, of our culture is that, you know, our kids, when I speak of Ali Patberg, Ariel Wisney, Mackenzie Holmes, Caitlin, whose mother is a longtime Southern pastor of 30 years, Grace Berger, they're trying to get the right word. Their faith in God is big to them, like extremely important to them. So they all go to church together and all that. But one thing that they did during the summers, they went with Key and supported Key and went to the mosque with Key. And so I think that's just a testament of our entire culture, of the kind of kids that we try to bring in here. Egoless, selfless kids who we can help mold into being there for one another and that sort of thing. So it starts from the top. It honestly starts with Coach Morin, and that's who she is. And it starts with her. It kind of filters down and through all of us, from me, the rest of the staff, to the kids. So I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much. She was a wonderful person for your team.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Coach, we have a question on Zoom, which I'll read for Patrick Smith. How does the program stand in comparison with Purdue, Notre Dame, in competing to recruit the top in-state talent?
I think we stand right there with those programs. I mean, certainly we have the success to back it up. Obviously, Notre Dame has won in the past, won some national titles. And obviously Purdue is Purdue. Purdue's had a lot of history in the past, but right now we really don't, when we recruit, we honestly don't focus on the other schools. We really truly focus on us and the kids that we target. The number of kids that we recruit are very small. We don't offer a lot of kids here for the reasons that I mentioned earlier to this gentleman. And so our pool is incredibly small. And so we focus on who we want, who we truly want. And we really don't concern ourselves with these other programs, Purdue, and Notre Dame. We have our own agenda and what we want, and that's where our focus lies. And that's kind of how we handle our recruiting. Yes.
Thank you, Aaron. Steve and I went to Hoosier Hysteria and we really enjoyed it.
Wow.
And not only did you have a heck of a year from a one-loss perspective last year, but if I understood Coach Moran correctly, not a single COVID case
Yes.
when a lot of schools around the country were really plagued by the coronavirus. How do you explain that? And then secondly, Steve and I felt like the women, if they didn't just hold their own, they might have stolen the show at Hoosier Hysteria with Grace Berger sinking those threes from all over the place and Alec Patberg.
Yeah.
Could you speak to that aspect of the game?
Absolutely, absolutely. What was the previous question again? COVID. I think that speaks to our culture again, our culture that we've built. And again, I speak to the leadership that we have, you know, from Coach Moran to our players, our elder statesmen. The message was clear every single day, you know, in that we're here to achieve our goals. And we knew as a staff what needed to be done. And we tried to, again, convey those, you know, those messages to those kids. And those kids didn't want to let each other down. And that's where it really came down to. They made tremendous sacrifices. They put their social lives on hold, you know, and they really came together, you know, as a group, because, you know, they truly knew what was most important. They also didn't really have Christmas, you know, they didn't have Christmas either. You know, they were here, you know, they didn't have Thanksgiving, they were here. So we decided that it was in our best interest, us, along with our administration. That was because we were doing so well. It was in our best interest to keep them here during those tough times, you know, just to stay according to plan. And our kids had absolute buy-in. So it made that easy. I mean, it was a hiccup to them, you know, a couple of those times having to stay home for a minute, but they knew what they were here for. We all knew what we were here for. And we were gonna take advantage of the opportunity. You know, we weren't gonna have any setbacks, and you know, and thank God we didn't have any COVID cases. You know, one thing we did have though, we had like 8 false positives down in San Antonio. So we had some fear. We had some scary moments, you know, because everything's new, right? Faulty testing and stuff like that. And so, but we kind of, you know, rolled with it, you know, and just made the most of it. And then, you know, speaking to, you know, Allie Patberg, Allie's healthier this year, you know, and I think right now she's shooting the ball better than she shot last year. And Grace Berger, it's been a process for her to continue to improve her long range shot. And she works diligently every single day on getting better, and that being a major focus for her, something that she can rely on throughout the course of the season. So, thank you.
Coach, thank you so much for lending your time and insights today into this really exciting and fun program that those of us who live in Bloomington get to experience. Appreciate it. So, and in recognition of your talk, we'll be giving a donation to Wonder Lab, our local children's science museum. Next week, Rotarians, something very different, we'll actually be meeting in Alumni Hall. It is the annual Kelley School Business Outlook panel, back again in person. We'll be meeting as per usual with members of the Chamber of Commerce. The doors will open at 11:30. Program will begin around 11:45. So please don't be late. Make sure that you've responded to the survey that Natalie has sent out. Zoom will also be available, but it won't be interactive, although today we weren't very interactive. It won't be as interactive because it'll be a Zoom webinar. And I'm really happy that we're giving Dave and Michael the week off. So once again, it's a really good week to be a Rotarian. I see so many of you on Friday night as we celebrate Charlotte and raise funds for Habitat for Humanity. Let's close the meeting by reciting the 4-way test +1 together. Of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun?